Kenya Harlequin. Remember, Kenya Harlequin started the 2015 National Sevens Series with a win. They won their home tournament, the Christie Sevens, last weekend at the RFUA grounds when they blanked KCB 19-0 in the final. They have somehow found a way to get through to the final here at the ASK Mamboleo Showground in Kisumu. They started the competition on the wrong note, losing 10-5 to Homeboys. They then walloped the Sharks from Bungoma 54 points to 0 before just scraping through against Cabras Sugar by 7 points to 5. That was how they qualified on day one. They were up against KCB in the quarterfinal on Sunday morning, a match that they found themselves trailing 12-0 at halftime, just leaving it late to win that match 14 points to 12. And now, with the final match coming, can their run of form be extended? Can they make it 2 wins out of 2 on the National Sevens Series in 2015? Top Fry Nakuru versus Kenya Harlequin, coming to you any moment from the ASK Mamboleo Showground in Kisumu City. Remember that Mamboleo Showground is off the Kakamega Kisumu Highway.
In your picture there, the Kisumu RFC patron Leo Tieno in the red shirt. Of course, in front of him, the Obange Cup for the 2015 Dala Sevens champions. He's trying to understand whether it's actually Obange or, as Mike Wambo says, Obange. Pretty certain it's Obange.
Well, in the ever-evolving world of colors and design, Obeying could be a color, but we'd probably have to consult with Dan Otieno later on.
The big one, the final of this year's Dala Sevens.
The two teams marching on to the pitch for the pre-match formalities. We see Kenya Harlequin led by Patrice Agunda. We also see Kevin Keegan, who started his rugby career here in Kisumu City. Big William Baka, who has played rugby in France and South Africa. Brian Okwomi. For Nakuru, we see Joff Ominde leading them out. We also see Leslie Ocheng, David Kivuti among some of the players. Remember, the teams will line up for the pre-match formalities. The action coming to you live from the ASK Mamboleo Showground in Kisumu. This is the Dala Sevens, the second round of the National Sevens Series. This is the Cup final. Top Fry Nakuru, remember, they topped their pool on day one. They emerged through. Their path has been rather straightforward to the final. They have been ruthlessly efficient in getting through to the championship match. And just looking back in history, Top Fry Nakuru is a side that really loves the Dala Sevens. They've been in the cup final here a few seasons back. And of course, looking to continue their run of form. Just see some of the players. Godfrey Bear there, one of the players who will be key for Top Fry Nakuru. Charles Obako Odhiambo there in our picture. He was prominent for the side last year. Donald Alwatch. And that is the mascot. Doesn't look like a flamingo though, which is what appears on the Nakuru RFC crest.
Probably looks like something of a cartoon strip, IR baboon, or maybe IR chimpanzee, or IR monkey, but definitely not a flamingo. What would be the emblem of the Nakuru RFC? The Kisumu patron, Louis Otieno, the chairman of Kenya Rugby Union. I'm not so certain whether he's still chairman or whether he's president. A couple of years back when we had a president who would take offense at anyone else being termed president, would never utilize that, but across the globe, most of the heads of the rugby unions are termed as president, but I believe Richard Omwela is not one who will actually be very key on any of those titles. Just getting introduced to the Kenya Harlequins players by the Kenya Harlequins captain, Patrice Agunda. Agunda, definitely one of the stalwarts, one of the longest standing members of the National Sevens team, has done well. Looks like his leadership was what Kenya Harlequins were perhaps lacking in previous years, and they've done well in the first 2 legs of this year's National Sevens circuit.
Indeed, as the sides just looking to complete the pre-match formalities, we also see Kenya Rugby Union Director of Fixtures, Moses Ndale, former KCB player, used to be called Moses the Great Ndale. We'll probably explain that later on. just exchanging the pre-match formalities with members of the Kisumu RFC technical bench. You could also see former Kisumu Town MP Gor Sungu.
Your picture as well, Ezekiel Owor, the man putting on a South Africa rugby shirt, just having a chat there with the chairman of Kenya Harlequins, Mike Lucas. Fred Maube, long-standing Kisumu RFC secretary, the man with the very well-rounded figure in your picture there, lawyer by profession, but looks like he's got the mold of a chef.
As the Quins players break into their anthem. And the teams are through with their formalities. As the anthem was going on, we couldn't help but look at Frank Wanyama and wonder what was going through his mind, because his lips were not moving to the words of the Quins anthem. But he seemed to be in utopia. And we probably do think that we will expect to see him in utopia depending on the result. If his side wins, of course, we will see that expression again. If not, well, we save that for another day. But back to more serious matters. This is the final of the Dala Sevens. This is the cup final, a match between top fry Nakuru and Kenya Harlequin. Remember, Kenya Harlequin come into this match top of the National 7 Series standings on 22 points. They're definitely assured of staying top of the log going into the third round, the Driftwood Sevens in Mombasa on the 22nd of August. Kickoff begins. This is Jafo Minde. Retrieves that ball. Frenetic opening. Godfrey Bear there, just playing it out. Leslie Ocheng. He has Alan Odio out wide, and Odio has been one of those players who's fancied himself with his pace, but William Mawiro forcing him to spill the ball off the tackle. That was a solid tackle coming in from William Mawiro, who incidentally is a cousin of William Ambaka.
Uliza tu lakini
Sevens player Felix Ayange with the ensuing line of throwing for Kenya Harlequins. The man who's actually been dogged by a series of injuries that has perhaps not seen him at his pristine fine self. Did see him turning up for Strathmore Leos 5 seasons ago. Performances that allowed him to break into the 7th team, but has just been dogged by injury. We'll be trying to ensure that he can just retain his level of fitness. And Nakuru with a very solid counteract, but Kenya Harlequins recover. Frank Wanyama getting the ball in. Kevin Keegan has options out. William Buck will not be too happy with that. Not something that would have been expected from a player who was in the list of the 7 best 7-a-side rugby players 3 seasons ago. Ominde, the Nakuru standoff, doesn't betray a lot. If you look at his face, does not look to have any level of pressure, but calls all the strings and has been the one who just ensured that this Nakuru team has been able to tick all the boxes. If for any team to get into the final, they do not do it pegged up on pure chance, but by virtue of the fact that they have the players who have the ability to just weather any storm and win matches. Victor Draw, the referee, just ensuring that both sets of players understand what is expected of them in the scrum. Ominde puts the ball in, but it's hooked. It looks like there was an early foot in. It's been adjudged not to have been straight, so Ominde will get a chance to put the ball back in. Brian Okomi, Kenya Harlequins hooker, cheeky enough to ensure that he could manage get the hook on the ball. Of course, Okomi, a former player of Strathmore, did not take part in the Christy Sevens tournament last weekend, and Okomi adjudged to have placed the foot in the channel before the ball went in, so a half penalty quickly taken by Nakuru. Nakuru not looking at wasting any time. However, a certain level of patience may be required because they'll not be able to get any chance to score off first face against a very marauding Kenya Harlequins defense line that has managed so far to quash any level of attack that the lads from the Rift Valley town of Nakuru have tried. Alan Odio this time gets his own piece of action again with William Mawira. William Mawira and Alan Odio are beginning to have certain level of relationship on the wing, mostly like what we saw between Horace Otieno and Alvin Otieno.
The line out throw being taken by Felix Ayange, who starts this match. Interesting tactical switch by Kenya Harlequin. Of course, probably looking to exploit their attacking options all through. This is William Mawira, who has actually had a good tournament for Quins. He's actually also had a good tournament last week during the Christie Sevens. We just hope for the young man that the fine form continues going into the remaining 3 rounds.
The triple tower combination for Nakuru, Ivuti, Mbea, and Philip Kwame set for the scrum down. Ominde with the scrum put in. Looked to have been a tinge of ball not thrown in straight, but the referee lets that go. Alan Odio this time angles up before he manages to beat through Mawira. Odio looks to have scored, but to confirm whether that was actually done well. Try good, Nakuru. Nakuru 5, Kenya Harlequin 0. Alan Odio this time around manages get better. William Mawira expected the corner, but Odio just sneakily looked around and sauntered all the way to score the try. Nakuru with the early advantage. Try scorer in your picture there, Alan Odio. You can see William Mawira just trying to catch up this time around. Odio looked to have actually pulled all the tricks in the bag, and you can see there from the replay the grounding was good and the love from the crowd is definitely evident. Minde with the conversion for Nakuru. Smacks it hard, smacks it high, but all that amounts to nothing because he smacks it wide. The scores remain Nakuru 5, Kenya Harlequin 0. Leslie Ochieng just tying his laces, ready to set us on for the remainder of the second half. Your picture there, you can see one of the more passionate fans within Kenya Rugby. He has actually taken upon himself to raise a kitty, and anytime someone scores a try, he's actually dishing money out to the bench.
Just hope it doesn't end up being a high-scoring affair like some of the international matches we have seen over the past few days. But anyway, back to the action here. Alan Odio's try sees top fry Nakuru lead Kenya Harlequin by 5 points to 0. This is the cup final at the Dala Sevens, the second round of the National Sevens series. In our picture there, Kevin Keegan just played in by Felix Ayange. Patrice Gunda, the workhorse for the Queen side. Then the ball easily ripped off him by Godfrey Mbea. And this is Jeff Ominde to David Kivuti. And Kivuti skips through the tackle and is gone. Frank Wanyama seems to be struggling. The attention's coming in from Mawira, but Kivuti's long strides seem to have done enough. He goes over the chalk. A second try for top fry Nakuru.
Nakuru have been good with the sucker punch. 2 of them in quick succession. Kenya Harlequins just having a couple of heaving bodies all over. Did look like they were quite convincing in the match against Strathmore, but you've got to definitely give credit to the Nakuru RFC team. They look to have actually studied the weaknesses and the strength of the Kenya Harlequins team. And with 7 minutes already played in this match, they definitely look like they're having the upper hand. Leslie Ochieng with the conversion attempt for Nakuru. At the back of your picture, there's former Kenya Sevens international Sydney Obonyo, the man who looks like he's about to build a Bedouin tent in the middle of the Sahara Desert. Conversion is wide, so scores remain Nakuru 10, Kenya Harlequin 0. Cheng slowly gets back. Nakuru seem to be picking up on levels of confidence, and indeed rightfully so. They have every reason to be proud about what they've been able to deliver within this first half. Patrice Agunda should have been the guilty party there. The ankle tap did not come good, and Kivuti just stretched his long legs. Mawira got there this time around. Not too certain exactly why he kept on tagging onto the shot. Looked like it was a diaper change pass for Kivuti, but Kivuti refused to actually get his shot pulled off. Felix Ayange with the scrum put in for Kenya Harlequins. We have a little under 90 seconds still left on the clock for this half. Looks a bit messy, but the referee has his arm stretched out. Should be a penalty advantage for Kenya Harlequins. Quins look like there's a bit of panic setting in. William Baka gets the ball to his cousin William Mawira. Willie looks like it's a family name. No wheeling about in this particular game for Kenya Harlequins. Look to have perhaps been jolted into action by those two quick tries by Nakuru. Frank Wanyama does what is expected of him, draws in a couple of defenders. Kenya Harlequins look to have a couple of numbers out wide. Mawira to his cousin Ambaka. Ambaka skips through one, the second. Ambaka breaks 3 tackles, and this should be a try for Big Willie. Try time good for Kenya Harlequins, and what a way to score it by literally making mincemeat of your opponents. Try time, Kenya Harlequins 5, Nakuru 10.
And a very important score for Kenya Harlequin, considering the timing. It is important that they go into the halftime break within reach of top fry Nakuru, and William Baka ensuring that happened. Played in and just skipping past the tackles, scoring the try. Kevin Keegan to attempt the conversion. It is good. 3 points separate the two sides, and that has been an entertaining first half. Let's listen to what both sets of coaches will tell their teams at the halftime break.
Sawa. When you patient on defense, let's commit kwa tackle na kuna wase nje. Don't commit yourself. Watch your pass wengine wakuje kwa line. Sawa, you're making it too easy for them. So ndani lazima communicate. Lakini sio ukijicommit kwa tackle umejitoa kwa game. Unaona? Kama defense ingekuja ongeza by time. Go to patient, make sure faster guys are outside you, and then we need. So on attack, let's take care of the ball. That's all we need to do. So let's take care of the ball. From this kickoff, we are getting it, and tuko na 10 minutes. Tuko na position tuko mbele. Sawa. So tuna score fast and we stay in the race. Sawa Nelo. Sawa. Jaribu uminde. Sio ni option ya pivot kwa nani? Kutoka hiyo scrum. Sawa. Option ya pivot kila wakati sababu wanajua Nelo ana mbio. Kama Nelo amefunga, fusimama tu, rudisha Nelo, Leslie. First phase, second phase, mpatie mapema, mpatie Nelo mapema. Utakuwa na option, ukipandisha, unampatia option tu ya kwenda nje kwa touchline. Ukimpatia mapema ana option ya kurudi ndani na kupea pivot, kutoa pivot. Sawa. Guys, stay in the race. Sawa.
Gentlemen,
tunga kwanza.
Hii game tuna win on second phase. Second phase, wana lose shape kwa defense yao. Sawa.
Sawa.
By the grace
of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now forever.
Kumi bora my guys, kumi bora.
Sawa.
3 2 1.
Wanyore, Kebo.
Ten more minutes still set to play. Kenya Harlequins with that try at the end of the first half, giving themselves a decent chance at getting a stab at the 2015 Dala Sevens tournament. 10-7 the scoreline. Very little separating both teams. In a picture there, Brian Okwomi, a seasoned campaigner, previously the Strathmore University Leos, called up into the Kenya Harlequins Sevens first team this weekend, having played in the Division 2 last week. The ball goes high, easily fielded by William Baka. And Baka looks very keen on just trying to bully the entire Nakuru backline. Does very well, goes over close to the halfway line. quickly recycle. Kevin Keegan linking up with Felix Ayange, the captain. Patrice Agunda, speculative long pass, eventually gets to Frank Wanyama. Judged to have actually been thrown forward. Looked a bit funny, the initial pass. Wanyama quite unhappy about that, remonstrating. Not so certain whether it is with the referee or with his captain. Pretty certain must be with the referee. No one would actually want to remonstrate with the captain because there is still a couple of weeks remaining before the 227s, and the one thing that the captain can actually do is make your life very, very hard on the training ground.
True indeed, Hillary. And as we continue, we just have received word from Dominique Habimana, head coach of Top Fry Nakuru. Thanks for the correction. The try scorer for the opening try for Top Fry Nakuru is Nelson Oyo and not Alan Odio, as we had indicated earlier. Play continuing here. Quins going in pursuit of the score that will put them ahead. Kevin Keegan steps, looks to have left players in his wake there. Felix Ayange going down under the challenge from Godfrey Mbeya. The penalty advantage switching to Top Fry Nakuru. Penalty quickly taken. Jeff Ominde. That is Mbeya. This is that man, Dave Kivuti. Kivuti, a former Kangaroo High School alumni.
Kangaroo would ideally be kangaroo. Sounds like something that you'd find in Australia.
Well, there were matches played yesterday related to kangaroos, Australia, New Zealand, but order of business for us here is the Dala Sevens. This is the cup final. Top Fry Nakuru leading Kenya Harlequin by 10 points to 7. 2 minutes into the second half. And there's all to play for. 3 points separating the two sides. Exciting match. And Hillary, looking at the matches on day 2, particularly in the cup competition, they have been close. I think the only big scores have come from Nakuru, beating Impala comprehensively 27-5 in the cup semi-final. That looks like Mawira in possession. Just showed an injection of pace. 50-50 ball there. Quins in possession. Felix Ayange plays it out wide. We have men there. This is Ambaka going down on the challenge, but doing well to gain ground. Penalty advantage once again remaining with Quins. Eden Agero distributing the ball there. We have men out wide. Brian Oblemire Okwomi. They're not going to blame him on this particular point. One of the smallest men on the pitch today, but a big moment for him. He scores the try that puts Kenya Harlequin 12 points to 12-10 ahead against Top Fry Nakuru. This is a cup final of the Dala Sevens, coming to you from the ASK Mamboleo Showground in Kisumu City.
Nakuru just seem to have lost out to some level of confidence after William Baka's try. Kenya Harlequins, credit to them, seem to have noticed that. And they're definitely just piling a lot more pressure, trying to ride the tidal wave to ensure that they can get a lot more from this conversion attempt by Eden Agero. Try and increase the tally for Kenya Harlequins. Conversion is successful. Kenya Harlequins get into the lead, 14 points to 10. Nakuru need to pick themselves up. Seem to be quite quickly fading, and Kenya Harlequins more than happy to keep on piling the pressure.
And of course, with Quins retaining the ball for the restart, it'll be up to Eden Agero to know how to boot it, looking to play deep into Nakuru territory, but retrieved there. This is Mbeya, proving to be a handful. Rock cleaned up. Ominda just distributes it to David Kivuti. The goose step there, and Nelson Oyo, that delivery not the best. Victor Odwar, the center referee, just calling that. As we see a section of the crowd, Fred Maube, probably relieved that the tournament has come to an end. We all know the nightmare of planning events, in this case, planning tournaments. This is Nakuru in possession. The ball kept alive there. This is Kivuti. You know, Kivuti, with his rangy strides, will have to shrug off the attentions of his marker. He does. Just dealing with Frank Humwa quite easily there. David Kivuti landing his brace. Top Fry Nakuru retake the lead. 15-12 with the conversion to come. Top Fry Nakuru leading Kenya Harlequin 15-12. It is an entertaining final. We still have 5 minutes to play here at the ASK Mamboleo Showground in Kisumu City.
Seesaw affair. David Kivuti has been one of the protagonists in this particular matchup. 2 tries, the better. Nakuru will try to see if they can keep this particular level of pressure on. But just get a feeling that Kenya Harlequins will not quickly fold up. In your picture, Johnson Ngao coming into the field of play as Jeff Ominde places his full level of concentration for the ensuing conversion kick. It goes high, but does not have the direction. So Nakuru, with his land advantage, 15 points, Kenya Harlequins 14. We'll just need to correct the scoreline. It's actually Nakuru 15, Kenya Harlequins 14. Your picture there, Willie Ambaka. Lovely lady. Not so certain whether that is actually a mirror or a phone, but phones have the ability to just do anything. Or maybe she did it on camera mode to look at herself. Naughty pussycats in the corner there. Kenya Harlequins being herded deep within the territory. Nakuru just trying to pile out a lot of pressure, opting to do the territory as opposed to actual possession. Johnson Ngao with the ball, dodges off one, gets a heavy reception from Nelson Oyo. Almost looked like it was a tip tackle. Oyo has to be very careful. Ball seems to have been held up. Patrice Agunda, from the look on his face, just kept on looking a little bit more distressed. Should have perhaps been able to keep strong, try and drive back. Easily handled by Nakuru, who get the scrum put in.
Good element of physicality from Nakuru RFC. This is a contest indeed, both sides giving as good as they get. The interesting change, Felix Ayange started this match in place of a regular scrum half Max Theory. Of course, the intention would have been to give Quins a lot of attacking impetus, because we also see Eden Aguero on the pitch. Eden Aguero, a very fine player on attack, very dangerous with ball in hand. The scrum put in a bit sloppy there, but cleaned up by Philip Kwame. And this is Godfrey Mbea. He has used his strength time and again in this match. Nakuru have actually dominated Quins, if you look at it critically. This is Ominde going down under the heavy challenge from Patrice Agunda, but then is penalized for not releasing the ball. William Baka will be keen to just get the procedures underway here, which he does. Yeah, Ayange, Humwa. There's a man out wide, and that man is William Mawira. Beg your pardon, that was Stanley Nulani on as a second half substitute. Stanley Nulani made the move from Mean Machine to Kenya Harlequin in the close season. Eden Aguero, he now has Humwa looking to release that man, Lunani. Lunani steps past one. Quins doing well to keep it alive. Ayange again just looking to set up another move. William Baka, we saw him skip through 3 tackles to score the opening try for Quins. Aguero, this is good continuity. And then the advantage swinging back to top right Nakuru. Remember, 1 minute 20 seconds to play here at the ASK Mamboleo Showground. You can see the disappointment on Eden Aguero's face.
Well caught there by referee Victor Dole. That indeed was a forward pass from William Baka. Should have perhaps held on to the ball. Aguero may have been a bit guilty of just outrunning the ball carrier. Therefore, Minde not in any hurry to put the ball into the scrum down. We have less than a minute on the clock. There's 1 point separating both teams. Nakuru not in any hurry. They still already have the lead. Not in any hurry put the ball in. Minde just trying to get the referee to ensure that nothing cheeky happens in there. Penalty for Kenya Harlequins. For Nakuru, sorry, I beg your pardon, it's penalty for Nakuru. They should know they've got less than 30 seconds on the clock. Ominde does well, just eats up another 10 seconds, elects to go for the line out, which should ideally be the last move of this game, barring any unforeseen eventualities. Indeed, the final whistle blows and Nakuru win the 2015 Dala Sevens tournament. Very excited Nakuru players getting onto the field of play. The team manager Hilary Kisangi, the coach Enos Otieno, very excited about it. Kirori Mindo, Nakuru head coach, in there with the hat, former Kenya Sevens vice captain, has done definitely very well. Nakuru have been a revelation, and this is definitely turning out to be a very interesting 2015 National Sevens circuit. Nakuru rank outsiders, no would have probably fancied that they would be able to get into the winners' podium. This time around coming better, winning this one 15-14 to be crowned 2015 Dala Sevens champions.
Well, there we just see the joyous moments at the ASK Mamboleo Showground in Nakuru. The Nakuru fans, some of whom have managed to get onto the pitch, of course being marshalled off. That is it, 15